Welcome back to the Court Stormers YouTube channel. This is your daily best bet video for November 26, 2021. We have two massive games on the slate today. The first one is at 11 a.m. Eastern in the Battle for Atlantis championship game. That game is between Baylor and Michigan State. Baylor comes into the final after defeating Arizona State in the quarters and VCU yesterday in the semifinals. Michigan State's path has been a little more difficult as they had to knock out Loyola in the first round, and they defeated UConn yesterday in the semifinal, closing out the game with a 9-0 run to win by 5. There is no line on this game currently. However, KenPom makes this game Baylor -4, while Torvik makes it Baylor -3. I think the biggest edge in this game here goes to Baylor's defense. I think the Bears will be able to force turnovers in this game, as Michigan State is still trying to figure out their point guard play. Tyson Walker's done a good job. However, the Baylor defense is still swarming. They still rank top 10 in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency on KenPom. Also, the Bears are turning teams over at a 28% clip. And the Spartans only lost this year when they played Kansas in the opening game. Turnovers were what killed them. I think Baylor is going to be able to force turnovers and get easy buckets, which will eventually lead to the Bears winning this game. In the nightcap for the Duke and Gonzaga game, that line currently sits with Gonzaga -7.5. Gonzaga, of course, is coming into this one after their incredibly impressive performance defeating UCLA on Tuesday night by 20 points. Of course, we know the deal with them. It's Drew Timme, the preseason player of the year, being dominant down low. Of course, they have the unicorn down low, Chet Holmgren, who can make things incredibly difficult for opposing offenses. And they might just have the best point guard in the country in Andrew Nembhard. Tuesday's victory led to thoughts that maybe this Gonzaga team is even better than the team that was on the floor last year for them, that almost went undefeated. I don't think that's the case. I just think people are overreacting a little bit. Personally, I actually think this Duke team matches up pretty well with Gonzaga. They're probably going to throw Trevor Keels on Nembhard, a little bit of size that could inhibit Nembhard's effectiveness. I think there's a good chance that we actually see Paolo Banchero match up with Holmgren, so we could have a matchup of the number 1 and number 2 pick. While those two matchups are fascinating, I think the key matchup in this game is going to be Drew Timme against Mark Williams. How Mark Williams is able to hang up defensively in this game against Timme is going to decide the outcome. If Timme is able to get whatever he wants, it's going to be an easy night for Gonzaga. Of course, on the other side, Duke is going to need to hit the three-point ball. Whether it's Wendell Moore or Joey Baker off the bench or Keels or Roach, they're going to have to get some production from the three-point line to stick close in this game. If I had to pick a side here, I would lean with the Blue Devils plus the 7.5. I just think that they match up pretty well with them, and I think that Duke is going to be able to hit threes to keep this game close. I think they can limit Timme a little bit, and I think Keels will give Nembhard some trouble. I expect Banchero to have a really good game. I'm not sure whether they throw Timme or Holmgren on him. I think it might just be Holmgren because Holmgren can move around better. However, that would take out some of Holmgren's ability to block shots, so it's an interesting debate. Because if you put Timme on Banchero, he could really stretch him off the floor, and I'm not sure how Timme is going to be able to hang defensively with that. Overall, I think this game is probably closer than people think, and Duke is able to keep it around 5. I thought I was going to be giving out Duke as my best bet. However, I found something I like even more. But before we go into our best bet, we have to recap our pick from last night. Of course, we did have the Maryland Terrapins -1 against Richmond, and they were able to cover the -1 with a monster second half performance. The Terrapins scored 54 points in the second half. They shot around 60% from the field in the second half. Maryland came into the game shooting 24% from 3. They were much better. They went 10 of 23, which is 43.5%. In our preview, we mentioned how free throw shooting could be a big issue for Richmond. They were 12 of 20 from the free throw line, while Maryland went 20 of 25. So an 8-point difference right there, and the game ended 6. That victory brings our record to 10-7 on the year, and we have profited $255 for the season. For our best bet tonight, we are headed to the championship game of the NIT tip-off, where we will be backing the Memphis Tigers -11.5 against Iowa State. This is a big mismatch in terms of talent. Memphis has 2 players who might go in the top 5 of the NBA draft in Amani Bates and Jalen Duran. The Tigers are elite defensively, much like they were last year. They currently rank number 2 in adjusted defensive efficiency on KenPom. Their length is what really gives teams a ton of issues. They're in the top 30 in defensive three-point percentage, and I don't think that number is a fluke. Last year they finished second in that category as well. In this game, I'm just not sure how Iowa State's going to be able to score. They've kind of been relying on the three-point ball their last 2 games, and shooting regression is going to hit them hard here. They're not going to be able to get the looks that they got against Xavier or the looks that they got against Grambling when they went 23 of 45 from beyond the arc in those 2 games combined. I think there's a good chance that Memphis suffocates them. Both Iowa State and Memphis are going to look to push the tempo here, and I think that's a bad recipe for the Cyclones because you don't want to give the team with more talent more possessions. That's just going to lead to less variance, and it makes it even more likely that Memphis is able to run away with this game. I think this is going to end up being a statement game for Memphis when they announce their presence, that they are absolutely for real. And I could easily see them winning this game by 20 points. That's all we have for today. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.